Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I thought it would be appropriate today to do a top 10 reasons because today is episode 10 of the long format videos on my YouTube channel. And I just want to give a huge thanks to you guys. I just hit 50,000 followers this Memorial Day weekend, and it is just super exciting to start building an audience here on this platform. So let's get into it. The top 10 reasons why men are no longer approaching. I'm going to do a countdown because I think that number one and two, three are like the most significant reasons that I hear for men not approaching. And as you guys listen through these, please, if you have anything to add from your own experiences, please comment. And then also, if you think I'm missing anything or if you don't agree with anything that I say, please leave a comment. I'm always open to hearing from your perspectives because a lot of these, honestly, are just from men that have told me, so from the more information I can gather, the better I feel like I can put out there into the YouTube world. So let's get started with number 10. And I'm saying this from the perspective of a woman, meaning the woman, is in a large group of friends. So this is super intimidating for a guy. What women should do is when they're out and about, and if they're with a large group of friends that they come with, that they should allow at some point to separate from the group. And it doesn't mean by herself, it could just be with like one other friend or two other friends. So they need to just pull away from the pack a little bit at times to allow space to be approached. Because I know myself, like, I'm already sort of more of a shyer person, I would say, with people that I don't know. I'm very much not with people that I know, but for total strangers, and if I'm like out and about, and if there was like a big group, like even if I was super interested in somebody, and I know women don't really ever approach, but I'm just thinking like in the mindset of a man, that just would be a huge barrier, is just the intimidating factor of so many eyes being on you and you're getting like judgment and you're trying to like make it somewhat obvious that you're only interested in one of the girls out of the group, and that kind of brings along a really tough, difficult dynamic because you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. All right, so on to number 9, looking for signals from a woman. So women, I think nowadays, are terrible at giving out signals. It's already difficult for a man to know, if you're interested through signals, without you just coming out and telling him. I think that a lot of men today actually they desire some of that straightforwardness because there's so much confusion out there, and they don't want to make the mistake of thinking that you're interested when you're not, and then like have there be any kind of negative experience because of that. Number 8, he doesn't want to be labeled as a creep. This is a huge fear that men have. That is like the worst name that you can call a man, especially a man that is out there trying to date. I think that it is because cancel culture exists and men have seen other men destroyed online for giving a simple glimpse to a girl. We've all seen those videos in the gym where a man has literally just like shifted his eyes, boop, boop, and all of a sudden he's getting labeled a creep. It's really unfair. Number 7, he's nervous and he hasn't had enough practice. He might be younger and just starting out at this. He maybe has had far more experiences online. I think that is more typical, is for people to meet online on dating apps by sliding into DMs, and they're just really lacking the experience and practice of real world one-on-one talking to each other. And, same with women with sending those signals. I think that's probably why they're so bad at it right now, is because they're so used to guys just kind of sliding into their DMs or liking a photo, and that's sort of the cue that he might be interested or that she might be interested. Number 6, he assumes that you are not single. This is especially true, I think, for women that are beautiful. He probably assumes that you're taken, And he prefers to follow the unspoken rule to never try to steal another man's woman, or to like make it awkward. And he just doesn't want to make a fool of himself. He doesn't want to make you feel awkward. So he would rather just kind of check mark that off and avoid that situation. 5 kind of goes along with this. If he feels like you're out of his league, he may really just be protecting himself from the rejection that he already assumes that he would receive. And I've heard this from a lot of women that are actually like very super attractive, is that what their experience has been is that they are not approached as often as some of their other female friends. And, that might be because her looks are intimidating. There's like an assumption made there by men that, she's going to be a little bit harder potentially to woo. Okay, we are getting into the big ones now, guys, with the top 4. So hang in there. Number 4 is that it feels like it's inappropriate timing and he's afraid that he's inconveniencing you. So he doesn't want to be rejected simply because of he's asking you at the wrong time and he doesn't want you to miss your bus or your ride because he's pulling your attention just to chat with you. And he doesn't want there to be any kind of negative consequences to talking to you, essentially, because that he would really feel bad about. And it's even if like she rejects him pretty quickly, like he still feels like her having to say one sentence to him is an inconvenience these days. But I think that this is unfortunate. It's unfortunate that because of the culture that we live in now, that everything is so like fast paced that we don't see value in just having some of these conversations that might not be anything in the end. It's conversations that don't mean that like this person's going to turn out to be a good friend of yours. Like you can have a conversation with a stranger and get something from it. Number 3, he's worried about scaring you. All right, this is another item that I think is due to culture. Men are generally very sensitive, I think, to the messages being sent out, especially from strong feminists, explaining to men why women are scared of men. And that even walking by her on the same sidewalk is scary for her. How are these men able to approach women at this point if they think that's scary for a woman? If like they are thinking, I scare women just by walking by her on the sidewalk, like of course he doesn't want to send a woman screaming away from him. So like he's probably going to eliminate the idea of even approaching a woman just to chit chat with her because he's potentially attracted or interested in her, which I think is, again, it's really unfortunate because it's such a missed opportunity. 2, he has gone his own way and he is not dating. He's done with dating right now. He's taken himself out of the dating world. I think that this is a fairly decent amount of men. Like in some way, they've taken themselves out of the playing field. But I do think that some, like the larger group, it's temporary. And then for a smaller group, it's like a forever thing. They just have settled it in their mind that they're good on their own. They're men that have gone their own way. So I think that men have experienced being used all too much, and they've like given a lot away within relationships, and they don't feel like that they've really received much in return. So they've just sort of decided that life is better and more peaceful without trying to find a partner and without finding that long-term relationship. All right. Number one, I think, is the biggest, largest group of men. He sees that it's not worth it. It won't go anywhere, right? These are the men that will not approach women simply because they see it's not worth it. There's too many talking stages and ghosting events that has led to this. This man may still pursue if he gets really strong signals from a woman, or, if she actually approaches him or she initiates in any way, she gives effort back. But if there's a lack of those two things, this man will just not believe that giving in all of the effort will be worth it. Some of these men will end up, I think, in that category too that I just talked about with men going their own way. I think that they will end up in that category if they get involved with too many of the wrong women. But that this larger group of men that don't end up progressing to level 2, like they're just waiting. They're waiting for the right woman to put herself out there. They're waiting for some of that effort back. And I don't think for most of them, I don't even think that it needs to be 50-50, which is what would be fair, right? But I think for most men, like, they'll say that even if they get 20% effort back for what they give, like, they appreciate that, and that is their signal that they can put more in, that they're safe, that they're not going to be used, because that is a sign that she has invested some amount. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that these are the top 10 reasons? What am I missing? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you next week.